The American President Donald Trump has once again announced that the ceasefire with Iran is no longer in place. And the announcement has come after 2 days of back-and-forth strikes between Washington and Tehran. But for now, the guns have fallen silent across West Asia. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said that the United States is ready to continue the negotiations with Iran. However, he also has made it clear that the ceasefire agreement between the two nations is effectively over. In an effort to reduce tensions, the Qatari mediators have traveled to Iran to hold meetings with Iranian officials. The discussions are reportedly being conducted in coordination with the United States. And on Thursday, multiple locations across southern Iran came under U.S. strikes, triggering a swift response from Tehran with ballistic missile attacks on U.S. targets. Iranian state media reported multiple explosions in the southern port city of Bandar Abbas. Several areas in the Bushehr province were also reportedly hit, including regions surrounding the Bushehr nuclear power plant. Iran has warned that any further attacks on its infrastructure will trigger retaliation, with Israeli targets also in sight. At the same time, Israel has now signaled that it remains ready to resume military action against Iran if required. The Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz, has said that Israel is now prepared to restart its war against Tehran, warning that any future strikes would also be carried out with even greater force. And amidst the renewed escalation, shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has plunged pretty sharply. This shows how the Strait of Hormuz has become the central battleground in a war that began over Iran's alleged nuclear ambitions. At the same time, the U.S. assurances that the Strait of Hormuz can quickly return to normal operations and remain fully open to global shipping are facing growing skepticism. The U.S. and its Arab Gulf allies are determined to prevent Iran from establishing hegemony over Hormuz, the lifeline for a large share of the world's oil and gas supplies. Iran, on the other hand, insists on asserting joint authority over the strait and has floated the idea of transit fee or service charges. Reports suggest that the White House is preparing for what could become a multi-day or possibly even a multi-week or a multi-month exchange of fire with Iran for hegemony over the Strait of Hormuz. For Tehran, the strait remains its strongest bargaining chip. And since the war began, the Iranian forces have mined the strait, attacked commercial shipping, and reduced traffic through the waterway by an estimated 95%. The result has been the biggest supply disruption in the history of global oil markets. The control of the Strait of Hormuz is central to Iran's asymmetric warfare strategy. The U.S. possesses overwhelming military superiority. Iran's greatest strength lies in its political resolve and determination to survive. For Tehran, the dispute is not really about toll revenue, because the income, though, from the toll revenue, if it were to be collected, could in fact be more than even the oil revenue that is generated by exporting oil by Iran. The objective here is to establish a precedent of sovereignty over the world's most strategic energy checkpoint. It's the most powerful leverage in any future negotiation with the United States of America, and by taking control of the Strait of Hormuz, what Iran also effectively does is it neuters America's ability to impose sanctions on Iranian oil. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.